Welcome to this week's episode of Talk of the Town. My name's Philip Swiskett, and I am back with my good friend and co-host, Dr. Kenneth Harper from Vein Specialist of the South. Now, if you have questions about your veins, maybe you saw a new vein pop up and you just want to get some answers, give Dr. Harper and my friends at Vein Specialist of the South a call, and they will get you the answers that you deserve. We also want to thank this week's sponsor, Piedmont Macon. Piedmont Macon provides comprehensive health care for all of your medical needs here in Central Georgia. Thanks so much to Piedmont Macon for making a show like this possible. Now, if you're just waking up on Saturday morning and you're wondering, what in the world is Talk of the Town? Here's what you can expect week in and week out. A conversation between me, Dr. Harper, and someone in the community that you need to know about. This week is no exception because we are here with Jeff Battcher. Jeff is a communications professional who has worked with a whole bunch of Fortune 500 communications companies and Fortune 500 CEOs and a lot of people like that. But that's not why Jeff is famous. Jeff is famous because Jeff helped bring baseball to Middle Georgia for a whole bunch of little boys and girls, and we are here today to hear that story. Jeff, thanks so much for joining us.
That's great. That's the best intro I've ever had. I appreciate that. Thank you.
It's not hard to have a great intro for you.
Thank you.
You know, I like to study and books on leadership and teamwork. And recently I've been reading a lot by a guy named Patrick Lencioni. And he wrote a book called The Ideal Team Player. When I read that book, I said, he must have known Jeff Battcher. He talks about the virtues that make a good team player, and that's having a humble spirit. That's Jeff. Is having driven a vision for excellence in everything he does. That's Jeff. And it talks about being smart and how you interact with people so that you can organize people and get people behind you to accomplish great things. And so one of the reasons we interview folks like Jeff is because the awesome things he does, but also we want to encourage you to figure out how can you make a difference. And so that's one of the reasons I'm excited to be here at this awesome baseball field here in South Macon so we can learn more about that.
Great. Thanks for having me, and I appreciate that.
Right.
I really do. Thank you.
Jeff, this is a sprawling complex that we're on, and it literally should not be here. How in the world were you able to pull this off? This physically should not be possible to have this level of a complex here. Walk us through how you were able to do that.
Wow. So this is all part of what's called RBI baseball, and RBI stands for not runs batted in, but it stands for Reviving Baseball in Inner Cities. So it's a Major League Baseball initiative that started 36 years ago to get inner city kids playing baseball, and it started about 10 years ago getting girls, women, playing softball. So this is for those kids who can't afford to play. It's an expensive sport. You know, you've got equipment, catcher's gear, bats are $300-400 a piece. They change them every year. Baseballs are $100 a dozen. This is an expensive sport. So Major League Baseball helps contribute and gets programs like this started. So we started the RBI program in 2018. And then from there, I wanted to build the field. And I met some folks from the Cal Ripken Senior Foundation, and they build these youth development parks all across the country. So they built about 60 of them, and that's where it began. And it's a great story of how we built this field. It's a great story of how I got the affiliation. You know, it's the work of a lot of people, but also just not taking no for an answer is the other thing that helped get this done.
So when you walk onto the field, describe what people might see that haven't been out here. Where's it? What's it part of? It's part of a Little League complex out here on Anthony Road, right? Or just off Anthony Road.
Correct. So this is part of the Tom Fontaine complex, which has been here for a long time. So there's two grass fields, which, by the way, we got resided about 5 years ago through the Atlanta Braves. One of them is dedicated to Chipper Jones, by the way. So we got those fields resided and new sprinkler systems put in. But we wanted a synthetic turf field where you could play all year long. And as you noticed when we came in, it's a multi-purpose field. So you can play softball, you can play Little League, you can play, Major League Baseball here because it's got all the different dimensions for the bases and for the pitcher's mound, et cetera. So this is a synthetic turf field that's the exact same turf that you would go if you went to Mercedes-Benz Stadium. This is the exact same type of turf that's there. And as I mentioned, I don't know anything about construction, but when they were building this field, there is literally 6 feet of sand and rock underneath there. This field will drain in 20 minutes. It can pour rain and this field will drain. So it's just a wonderful field. And because of the great, involvement from the United Way, from the Board of Education, from Bibb County, and the Macon Housing Authority, I wanted this field someplace like this. I didn't want this field to be in North Macon. And I don't mean that quite as bad as it sounds, but this is in some of the highest poverty in the United States of America right here. We're right next to Anthony Homes. So the kids can walk over and play. So this is a testament to these kids in this part of Macon that they can have nice things too. It's just not somebody in another part of the town. And when we did the dedication here, then we did the groundbreaking when Brian Snicker was here when we broke ground in 2020. I had a young girl come up to me, a young girl who lives here, and she said, "Thank you for doing something for us over here." Little that 7-8-year-old girl. She wasn't prompted by anything. She just said, "Thank you for doing this." And I'll never forget that look on her face of somebody cares. So, I mean, that's why this field is here, is to let everybody know that, there's hope and there's nice things for anybody.
Jeff, that's fantastic. We're going to have to take a quick commercial break to hear a word from our sponsor.
I'm a 37-year-old mom and athletic trainer. After pregnancies, I developed embarrassing varicose veins and lost confidence in my appearance. Then I called Vein Specialists of the South. I loved the caring staff, learned a lot about the severity of my legs, and the procedures had minimal downtime. What a wonderful place. Months later, I was back at the beach again with 2 pretty legs and newly gained confidence. If it's time for your legs, call Vein Specialists of the South today.
Piedmont Macon is proud to be your partner in healthcare, in business and in the community. From our 2 convenient hospitals and ERs, our cardiac program, women's services, and urgent care centers, we provide Middle Georgians with comprehensive care close to home. Our goal is to empower you through great care that's simplified, unified, and easier than ever to access. Our mission is to make a positive difference in every life we touch. We want to be part of your family and your life and to make our community a better place to live.
Welcome back to Talk of the Town. We're standing here today with Jeff Battcher in the RBI field. That is just incredible. Jeff, I want to ask you though about the number of children a year that are impacted by this field. Walk us through some of the numbers of how many kids actually get to use an incredible complex like this.
Right. So there's approximately 365 kids that are participating from 4 to 18. So the 2 grass fields and then the synthetic turf field. So it encompasses not only baseball, but softball as well, which has been really growing a great deal. And it's funny, you talk to the principals at school like Matilda Hartley next door and others, and they'll say anecdotally that we teen pregnancies now,
Wow.
that they've noticed that these girls now have something to do during the summer. Things are normally geared towards boys, for sports, but we've got more girls that are increasing. I mean, every year playing more and more of baseball, which Major League Baseball is supporting as well through USA Softball. So it's been great to have these number of kids out here. And 365 will probably be a little bit more this year in 2024 as well.
Now tell us about some of the tournaments that the guys played in last year.
Yeah, so the RBI team is comprised of about 30 young men. And so we travel down to the Jackie Robinson complex in Vero Beach, Florida. And we've been playing for about 4 years down there. And the first couple of years, we were getting beat 19-1, 20-0. I mean, it was just embarrassing. And I hate to say that. We were just, upset about this, but we kept getting better and better and better. And this last year, we won a tournament against a team from Washington, D.C., Fort Lauderdale, and Texas, some of the top teams, and won a tournament down there.
Wow.
You remember me sending all this stuff on Facebook? I was so
Oh
excited.
yeah, I was keeping up.
So it's a testament to our coaches, the work ethic, and the fact that we had a good field, after COVID and those things they could practice on and come out here and not worry about trying to rent a field or have rent someplace or have a bad weather. So they've gotten better and better. And the other thing is that we've now had kids go to college. We had 4 kids that are now enrolled over at Russ College in Mississippi. We've had other girls that have gotten softball scholarships. So this program does so much more than just a program during the summer, which is fantastic, but we're getting college scholarships. And these kids being able to go and play baseball and get their books paid for and get their education paid for, it's tremendous.
And it changes lives.
It absolutely changes lives. There's no doubt about it. And just another quick story. When we first started this, in 2019, we had 10 kids that got to go to the All-Star game up in Cincinnati. So those 10 young men had never been outside the city of Macon and had never been on a plane before in their lives. It absolutely changed these kids' lives when they got to walk around Xavier University and see other young black men walking around there, come back and say, maybe Mom, I want to go to college, you know? So these things change lives and more than just baseball and softball.
Right. And it changes Macon.
I hope so.
I mean, I always say, how do you change Macon? You change it one person at a time.
Exactly.
You know, and this is doing that. That's pretty awesome. Now, over here near the dugout, there are 2 plaques. One is from Cal Ripken Jr., and a lot of guys, all you guys my age know who that was, but some of the young men and women may not. Tell us why that plaque is over there, and then there's another one for the man that this field was dedicated to.
Right.
And I want you to end by talking about that.
Sure. So the Cal Ripken Senior Foundation, as I mentioned earlier, is building these complexes, these youth development parks all across the country. So they're very involved. If you raise half the money, they'll help you with the other half of the money. So Cal Ripken Jr., of course, you know, the iron horse of his day.
What record did he set?
Yeah, you know, number of consecutive games played, you know. So he wanted to honor his father, and he did this by building these, you know, complexes all over the country. So that's one plaque that's there. And then the other one is to my Little League baseball coach, who I named this field after, here, is the fact that I wouldn't be here now if it wasn't for him.
What's his name?
His name was Vernon Sinclair. And so Mr. Sinclair is the guy that I grew up on the other side of town, way over next to Bowden Golf Course. You know, didn't have a very proper or best upbringing. So I didn't have anybody to, you know, I wanted to play baseball. And so he picked me up every day for 2 years and always put me on his team so he could pick me up. If it wasn't for him picking me up for games and practices for over 3 years, I wouldn't be here now, because that started my sports, you know, career and helped me go and eventually get a baseball scholarship, football scholarship to Utah, where I lettered in baseball and football. But because of him, I'm here, and his dedication to me. And he was just a simple guy. He wasn't a rah-rah guy. He was just a regular guy that drove a nasty old blue station wagon to pick me up every day.
Right.
You know,
So where did he work?
he worked at the Macon Telegraph.
Right.
He was a typesetter down at the Macon Telegraph. They used to do typesetting for those. I'm not typesetting, you know. He typesetted, took me down there before and showed me once. You know, when you typeset, you know, put the type in before they printed the paper. So he was just worked there for 40 years. So he was just a regular guy that meant so much to my life that, again, there's no doubt I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him.
Isn't it amazing a guy like that shows up consistently in a simple way, and it changes the trajectory of someone's life?
That's exactly right. And that's kind of the hope here. This field's never going to go away, God willing, you know. And so it's here in this place where someone can come by and look at this and put as much time as they want here. There's no locks on the gate. Some kid wants to come out here and hit baseballs all night long. We'll turn on the lights for you, you know. So you can make your life, you can change your life right here at this field.
Jeff, that's fantastic. Now, I do understand that we've got a video from a fairly high-profile guest that we have coming up. Can we go ahead and play this video? Are we good?
Yeah.
All right.
Where is it?
Jeff, do you mind telling us?
So it's this manager who won a World Series up the road not too long ago, Brian Snicker. So Brian's been great here from the very beginning. Came to when we broke ground and has been helping me with equipment and other things. Brian's been fantastic.
All right, so this is a video from Brian Snitker of the Atlanta Braves, just for you.
Hi, this is Brian Snitker, manager of the Atlanta Braves. Back in 2017, I was in Macon at the start of the RBI program. Jeff Battcher has done a great job over the years in promoting and putting to good work the RBI program in Central Georgia. And I just want to wish you guys all the best in 24. Have a great year. Let's go Braves and go RBI program.
Jeff, it's got to be surreal to watch a video like that.
It gives me chills every time I see stuff like that.
Yeah.
He's the most humblest guy in the world. And I've told the story before, but again, quickly, when we did the dedication, we broke ground on the field. So he was Bill Shanks is a friend of mine. Bill Shanks called him. He was driving up in his car from being in a fishing trip. This was in November when we did that. He stopped and spent the night and actually slept on the floor at Bill Shanks' house so he could be here the next morning at 8 o'clock in the morning for this dedication ceremony. I'll cut his grass for as long as he wants. I'll do whatever he wants. He's the nicest guy in the world.
Hey, we need to do a shout out to Bill Shanks because he helped us with getting the video
Exactly.
and interviewing.
Yeah, right. In the middle of spring training, as they're in.
Yeah. So I wish he could have been here, but he's pretty busy right now. Right.
Exactly. And I just another quick thing about SNIT is the fact that I needed some help on some equipment that I couldn't get. He made one phone call for me and helped me get some equipment that we needed here. I mean,
Wow.
who does that when you got other things to worry about? He is tremendous.
He's another guy that makes a difference.
He does make a difference. He's a great guy.
So now I think we have one more video, and that was from Jim Nance when he was did he come here or he recorded this for the dedication?
That's correct. Yeah.
So we're going to watch that video from Jim now.
Okay.
So
hello friends, it's Jim Nance of CBS Sports, and I just want to congratulate Macon RBI on the grand opening of your youth development park. Jeff Battcher, you're an amazing guy. I've had the great privilege of knowing you since you were a college kid. And what a credit you are to Macon. You turn everything that you come into contact with into gold. And I know how much this has been a labor of love, this project for your hometown. Congratulations to you, my friend, and to everyone involved. This is spectacular.
Jeff, how cool is that to have something from Jim Nance like that?
So you talk about another great guy. I've known him for 35 plus years. When I was at the University of Utah, his first weekend anchor job was at KSL TV in Salt Lake City, and I did 2 internships with him because I was a sportscaster here for a while in Macon. Nobody probably remembers that. The only person that watched was my mom.
I remember.
Right? So Frank Malloy always gives me I was going to say a bad word. It gives me trouble about our sportscasting days. But anyway, so I've known Jim forever, and he is absolutely the nicest guy in the world. I mean, that's the Super Bowl just this past weekend. But I sent him an email just before that, and he always returns my email, and I tell him good luck and congratulations. The most wonderful, humblest, nicest guy. And those are the people that are examples to me that I continue to think, somebody Jim Nance returns an email. Brian Snitker does this. Those are the things that continue to inspire me, that they're busy and they're great people, but they still care about the small things that I'm trying to accomplish here in Macon, Georgia.
They're great team players.
They're great team players. There's no doubt.
So there are a couple other Braves that have kind of reached out over the years and contributed and helped. Do you want to give a shout out to some of those?
Sure. Brian Jordan's been great as well. John Smoltz also sent a nice video when we had the dedication. So both of them have been extremely helpful. And I know that Brian Jordan's done some work with United Way, helping with reading, with some books he's dedicated. So all of them have contributed and helped tremendously, along with so many other people that we've talked about. The Housing Authority, helped with this land. The Board of Education gave us the land. Bibb County gave us money. United Way helped me with the 501c3 so we could get the start of the RBI program. So many people. And if I may, the lights here that are here, we've got state-of-the-art lights because of Metro Power and Danny Gibson and Georgia Power. I mean, this was $700,000 that probably cost me about $200,000. So we've got state-of-the-art lights here because of people who've been, I guess they get tired of me calling them and bothering them so much. If I say, just help him out, so he'll stop calling me. So, but we've got this great complex because of so many people and organizations.
Now, with an actual project like this, it's obviously never over. What are some of the next needs that you guys have coming up that some of our viewers can help you guys with?
Right. Thank you for asking. The couple of things is coaches. I mean, if you're out there and you used to coach and you're retired now and you want to coach, we could definitely use your help. Freddie Stewart helps organize the coaches, and Michael Rogers is one of the coaches and does a great job. So Freddie's number is going to be here on your screen. So please call Freddie Stewart if you want to coach, or if you're in construction. We need help with the dugouts on our other field down there. So if you've got construction skills and you want to come and volunteer your time, please do. We could definitely use your help on that as well. And then finally, it's always about money. If you want to sponsor a player, $250 can help us tremendously. If you want to sponsor just one kid and help us for the summer, help buy that kid's uniforms and bats and those things. It doesn't cover everything, but that $250 would go a long way for that individual.
So you can help by that right there. There's some great ways to help: volunteering, contributing, being a sponsor.
Yep.
So some easy ways to help. Now, we always you're a man of vision. And so And your vision's made a big difference in Macon. And it's not only you, there are a lot of other men and women like you in the community, but thank you for what you do in that way. You generally refer to Macon, no matter where you are, as the center of the universe. Tell people kind of where you've been lately and some of the other things you're passionate about, because they may have somebody out there who's not so much a sports person, but may be interested in some of the other things that you're advocating for in our city.
So homelessness is something I've been involved in for a long time, for at least since I retired. And I was just recently in the Philippines with a conference on slum dwellers. So we were there. I was there with 30 people from 30 other countries. I'm on the global board. I'm a commissioner on the global board of the family of Vincentians. And so we're in about 130 countries and trying to organize and help with homelessness. And then back here in the center of the universe, Macon, we just should have completed our sleep out. It'll be 11 years that we sleep outside for one night in solidarity and raise over $300,000 to help Daybreak downtown, which is a day shelter. People can come in, wash their clothes, get a hot shower, get counseling, get medical care, and those things. So homelessness is very important to me. And of course, music. Otis Redding Foundation. We're in the middle of building our building downtown. Otis Redding Center for Arts. On the board of the Boys and Girls Club, which helps organize all of this. The Boys and Girls Club is so important to bringing us kids and helping us run this program. Bobby McDuffie, and it's Bobby McDuffie and I have the center of the universe thing. He says I invented it. Then I said, no, I said it first. So Bobby's a great guy. So those are just some of the many projects that are passionate to me.
And
that
you help with food bank.
Yeah, I
You
just
see
on
the TV pretty regularly, like encourage people to come
Right.
fill a truck up, right?
Right.
And you're out there doing it yourself too.
Correct. I just rolled off the board of the Middle Georgia Community Food Bank. I was only on 13 boards, and so I thought I should maybe reduce it down to 11 now. So those are things that are important. But there's so many things here in town. If somebody wants to get involved, they certainly can.
Think about people look toward retirement, and really, who wants to retire? I mean, you might be ready to retire, but there's so many other great things you can do in your retirement that can make a difference too.
Right. There's no
Right.
To be blunt, your community needs you. There are things that we need to be doing in this community, and that's what I love about this baseball field. This is the culmination of you being the point person and so many community partners coming around you to making something like this happen. That's literally going to change lives forever, just like Vernon Sinclair's changed your life forever.
Exactly right.
And that to me is what is so cool about this, and it's why I love your saying that Macon, Georgia is the center of the universe, because we're able to do stuff like this.
Exactly right. There's so much more we can accomplish together than we can alone. And you've got to have community partners to work with you. Because I've tried, by the way, I've tried to do it by myself, and I can't. And I've got to have help. And when you get some help and you work together as a team, there's really nothing you can't accomplish.
Now, Jeff, on a more serious note, you were recently in Ukraine, and I understand that it was quite the experience to see some of that. Do you mind sharing a little bit of what you saw over there?
Yeah, I was there for about 15 days, and I went as part of DePaul. I'm on the board of DePaul USA, and DePaul USA is part of DePaul International. We're in 7 countries, and we've been in Ukraine for 14 years. So I was everywhere from Lviv to Kyiv, all the way down to Odessa. And some of those burned out buildings where the Russians had these villages and then Ukrainians took back, and it's just devastating. You meet these elderly couples, 80-year-old man and woman, who we were putting shelter on the top of their keep before the winter came and providing them wood because that's all they're going to have. And this woman talked about her neighbors, that there was nobody there to pick up the bodies. So they buried their neighbors in their front yard. And there's minefields everywhere. We couldn't go outside of a certain area. There's air raid alerts every 5 minutes. You had to have an app on your phone where the air raid alerts go off. So there's so much sadness there because there's so much death. Hate to bring this all up on Saturday morning here, but I mean, it's just the real life that's going on there, and so much uncertainty. They don't know what's going to happen, to their country. So I'll definitely go back. Met some great people there. Followed up. I've done some things to help some people there, and I'll do it again. But it's just such proud, honorable people who had their country invaded, and are just trying to live one day to the next. Wow. It's incredible.
And it sounds like DePaul is a great way to support people over there that are in need. Is that right?
That's correct. As a matter of fact, there's been a lot of people that have supported DePaul, Ukraine. You can go to DePaul, USA, and you can flip down and contribute if you want to Ukraine. I don't know if the individual would want me to say, but there's somebody here in town that gave like $100,000 to support. So yes, there's been a lot of support around the country to go and help feed, shelter, fed people. We put roofs on. We delivered wood because these people have, there's people get $60 a month and there's really not much else they have.
Well, thank you for what you do here and elsewhere. We appreciate you. I'm proud to call you a friend.
Thank you guys for doing this. I really appreciate it.
So Jeff, you just talked about the sleep out, but I understand that there's a brand new building that's going to be associated with this and construction is underway. Tell us about that.
And if you've been downtown, you've probably seen the construction that's going on right next to Daybreak. It's going to be an 82-bed affordable housing. Some people call it workforce housing. And then Daybreak is also going to be building a 12-bed respite. So those individuals who are homeless have surgery at one of our 2 hospitals here in town, and then they go back on the street. It gets infected. They don't take their medicine. They're back in the emergency room, costing the respective hospitals money. So the respite is going to be opening up along with the 82-bed facility in a couple of months here. Construction's almost complete. And then we've got, matter of fact, all of the DePaul international people from 7 countries are coming here, and we're having our assembly here. So we were in Paris a couple years ago, then Rome, now Macon, Georgia. Come on.
Center of the universe,
Yeah,
right?
center of the universe. I told you. And then the other thing that we talked about here, next plans for this is we're going to be putting in a concession stand and doing some work all around here, tapering this up, fixing the fields over there. So there's more work to be done here all the time with this baseball field to continue to make it a pristine facility that everybody can be proud of.
With 360 kids that were impacted here last year, what's y'all's goal for that number for this year and the years to come?
Right. 365, by the way, because those 5 kids, those 5 kids are important. I'm just kidding. So the goal is to continue to expand the respective programs, especially the RBI program, to get like a feeder system into the one that's almost like a travel ball team. These kids are getting better and better, winning those tournaments last year. So to start more of a junior program that feeds into the RBI program. So and to continue to get new equipment. We play some of these teams. The Braves have an RBI team. They've got fancy Braves uniforms and everything. And we're just a t-shirt and the pants, So one day maybe we'll have some real fancy, uniforms. So we'll see.
But listen, guys, for $250, that is it. You can sponsor a kid for a season. That's a no-brainer. We would love for you guys to be able to do that for us. Jeff, thanks so much for joining us. This was a fantastic interview.
Thanks.
We appreciate all you do for Central Georgia.
Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it.
And stay tuned for where me and Dr. Harper will show up next. You never know where it might be.